Hello and welcome to the Football Diary podcast and this mini-series where I'll be previewing all of the biggest teams in Serie A ahead of the kick-off of the domestic campaign this weekend. My name is Miles and in this episode I'll be looking at Inter Milan, last year's Champions League finalists. While you're here, if you'd subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely massive for us. We really appreciate the support as we're looking to grow, and there'll be much more content on not just Italy but football across the globe for the season to come. Now, Inter Milan have had a really interesting summer and a lot of upheaval really. We've seen some big names leave the squad. Obviously up front, Lukaku returns to Chelsea and it's much reported that they've struggled to bring him back in. Edin Dzeko obviously moved on to Turkey as well. And they've lost a lot of senior players, both goalkeepers, Handanovic and Andrea Onana, who obviously moved on to Man United. Robin Gosens has moved on as well. So Inter Milan have had to do a lot of business this summer and I don't think that they're done yet. But I am impressed with some of the business they've done. Jan Sommer is an absolutely brilliant goalkeeper and I think they were really smart getting him from Bayern Munich as they look to move on as well. I think he could do a really good job in Serie A, so that seems like a really good replacement for Andrea Onana. And of course, one of the biggest signings that they managed to pull off was Marcus Thuram, a player that was wanted across Europe by some massive clubs on a free transfer. This is excellent business. He got 13 goals and 6 assists in the Bundesliga last year and has already got himself into the French national team in a position that's very competitive for France as well. So there's obviously a lot of talent there and he'll do really well in that forward position for Inter Milan. And I think he could work really well with Lautaro Martinez, who they've also managed to hold on to for another summer, which is impressive. Another signing that I'm really impressed with is David Fratese, who has come in from Sassuolo. Again, really highly coveted. A player who managed 7 goals in 35 league games last season and is averaging about 1.8 tackles a game, 0.8 key passes, and has over 81% pass completion. A really complete midfielder, already proven in their league. So that seems like excellent business. Another player that they've lost though was Marcelo Brozovic, who although wasn't starting a lot of games, was excellent depth, and I think the Saudi Pro League has hit into more than they imagined it would. And of course Skriniar has moved on to PSG on a free transfer, a really gutting bit of business for Inter Milan to see. So there's definitely still things for them to do in the market. I think they've been really smart with some of their free signings. Juan Cuadrado, for example, that is an excellent bit of business. Someone who's really well experienced in Serie A, was always threatening for Juventus and can really do a job at that top level still. They've also brought in Marko Arnautovic and I don't know how well he'll suit the dressing room and I hope he doesn't upset it. We know that he's quite a character, but he's shown again in Serie A that he could kick on to another level, enough to even make Manchester United interested last summer. So another interesting free bit of business. But it's a shame to see Inter Milan kind of struggle to hold on to some of their players and struggle financially again, because they got to the Champions League final last year and it'd be great to see an Italian side kick on again. With Napoli struggling to replace Kim Min-jae and not doing too much else in the market and having a change of manager, it makes the league a bit more competitive again, and it would be good to see Inter Milan try and capitalise on that and fight with AC Milan as well for that title perhaps. But until Inter Milan are done in the transfer window, they're quite a hard side to predict. I am impressed by the players that they've brought in, but the amount of players that we've seen go could be a bit of a worry for them.